everyone, welcome back to Mental Health Mondays episode 4. So we've finally hit the 4-week mark. I really hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I've had an amazing response so far, so many of you saying that they're so relatable and quite comforting to watch, so fingers crossed that this video is going to do just the same. This week's episode is extremely important at the moment because it is all about mental health during the pandemic, which I'm sure so many millions of people right now are struggling with. They're struggling with how to deal with it. Some people have never experienced mental health before, so it's completely new. I've actually heard a lot of people say that they've never struggled with mental health before, but since obviously the pandemic, it's just gone through the roof and they're like, what the hell is this? Like, how do I cope with it? So fingers crossed this episode can be of use to as many of you as possible. This episode is not only going to include some of my personal tips for dealing with the coronavirus pandemic, but also a lot of my followers I've asked what their advice is, what they're doing to keep themselves sane, if you will. So I've got tips from all around, so fingers crossed there'll be something in there for you. First of all, I just wanted to start by saying any emotion right now that you're experiencing because of coronavirus is completely normal. Like whether you're feeling depressed, whether you're feeling traumatized from it, anxious, worried about money, health, your family's health, whether you're grieving over something or someone, whether you're struggling because you're not seeing people and it's making you feel a little bit lonely. Whatever your emotion is, even if you are so happy and it's not affecting your mental health, like anything is normal and everything is okay. I just want you guys to know that. So don't feel ashamed or embarrassed or anything like that with feeling that way. I'll just touch quickly on my own mental health during the pandemic, because right in the beginning, just before we went into our first ever lockdown, so kind of like, I think we went into lockdown the 23rd of March in the UK, so maybe like the first couple of weeks of March when it kind of started to get a little bit more scary and there was talks of a lockdown, my mental health was so bad. Me and Lauren, who I work with, we were in work and work actually said to us, look, we might be going into a lockdown, obviously, and at this point we didn't really know about furlough, so we were thinking, oh my god, like we're not going to be able to work, we're not going to get paid, we're not going to afford to live, that kind of thing. And I remember we were literally crying our eyes out together because we were both so scared. Like, it was just terrifying because it was one of those things of where it's like the fear of the unknown, because we've never been through this before. Like, I've never lived through anything like this. I don't think any of us have. And so it was just a whole thing of like, oh my god, like what is going to happen? What's going to happen if I can't pay my bills? Like, what's going to happen if I can't eat? And obviously everything would be going through your head at that moment. I think everybody had that because it was like, whoa, like what the hell is this? Even people who are normally really strong-minded, they were just like, oh my god. And I just remember being so petrified of what was going to happen, because I was thinking, obviously money, like that was my main concern, was the money side of things and not being able to work, because I didn't really understand that furlough would kind of cover you. And I'm just so thankful that I got furlough. Like, anybody who gets furlough, just be so grateful, because not everyone does. And when it all first started, it just was a really scary time because, like I said, we'd never been through anything like that before, and so it was like, what the hell is this? Like, it's brand new to us, we didn't know what to expect. You know, there were a lot of like, oh my god, there's going to be army walking around the streets, like making sure that people stay in their homes. It just was absolutely petrifying. For me personally, that was the worst time for me, was right at the beginning. Obviously you guys know that I do suffer with anxiety, and so obviously this whole thing did make me really anxious, like it did with so many people, but I just have found ways to deal with it. And I don't know if anybody else feels like this who gets anxiety, but before the coronavirus, I would just sit there and think of the most horrific things and be worried about these horrific things that are going to happen that will probably never ever happen. I think because I always had these scenarios in my head, when something like this did happen, I was kind of weirdly mentally prepared without knowing it and without realising it. So I do feel like I have dealt with it quite well mentally, and I've just put my time into YouTube and just everything like that I really enjoy, because my attitude now is that, you know, I don't know when we'll go back to normal, but when we are back to normal, I won't have as much time to do all this. So for me, I'm just putting everything into it and I'm making the most of it. But obviously that is not the case for everybody. People are, you know, obviously we've got our essential workers and people on the front line who I have so much respect for. Even people who are working in like supermarkets at the moment, like I cannot imagine how tough it is. And I really do like take my hat off to you, because I just personally don't think I could do it, but you know, you guys are amazing. And then you've got people who are like me and being furloughed. You've got people who have lost their jobs, unfortunately. And just so much has happened, and every single person has had their own worries and their own thing, whether it be health, like money, job, career, school, college, whatever it is. We've all had our own worries and our own sort of things to be anxious about, and that's why I wanted to just make it clear that whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through, it doesn't matter if it's worse than somebody else's or not as bad as somebody else's. You're still allowed to feel sad about it, or you know, you're still allowed to feel grief or anger or just whatever emotion. You're allowed to feel like that, because this is alien to everybody, no matter what your circumstance is. Even if somebody thinks that your circumstance is so easy compared to theirs, that doesn't matter, because none of us have been through this before, so we don't know how to deal with it. So I always say, don't sit and compare yourself to other people. And I don't just mean like, oh, their situation's worse than mine, so I need to be grateful. Yeah, you should be grateful, but you're still allowed to feel sad. Like, even if you're a multi-millionaire who has got this amazing home, got loads of family around them that live in the same home, got loads of money to eat, anything. It doesn't matter what your situation is. If you feel down and sad about the coronavirus, that is absolutely okay, and that's normal. And don't look at somebody else's life and think, oh, theirs looks perfect, how can they be upset? Well, they can, because at the end of the day, I don't know if you forgot this, but we're all human beings, and so we're allowed to feel whatever emotion we want to feel. I really wanted just to say all that, because it's so important to know that your feelings are valid, whether somebody else thinks they are or they're not. Their opinion doesn't matter. If you feel a certain way, that is your own like human instinct sort of thing. Like, you're a human being, you're allowed to feel however you want to feel. It's just important to know that you're not alone, that nobody should be judging you for feeling a certain way. You shouldn't be judging yourself or putting pressure on yourself to feel a certain way. Like I've said 1,000 times, this whole thing is so alien to us. The main sort of thing, I think, is a lot of people are constantly worrying about catching the virus, about, you know, family members catching the virus, about money, about food, about anything. We're all really worrying, and it's important to remember that you should never, and I know it's easier said than done, I really do, but you should really try to not worry about things that you can't control. Like, you can't control how the virus will affect people. You can't control, you know, how many eggs Tesco's are going to have in the store that day. There are some things that you can control that you're worrying about. Like, worry about the things you can control and deal with them, because everything else, unfortunately, there is nothing we can do. We can't control when the shops are going to reopen. We can't control when pubs are going to reopen, restaurants. We can't control when this whole thing is going to end. We can't control the mask situation. All we can do is accept that and just find ways of dealing with it, and just, in the nicest way possible, getting on with it, because there is nothing we can do. Like, literally, if you sit and you worry so much about, oh my god, like, when are the shops going to open? We can't control it, unfortunately, and I really wish we could, but we can't. I can't go to work until Boris says I can, and I'm not going to sit and worry. Like, obviously I did before. I'd be like, oh my god, like, when am I going to go back to work? When am I going to go back to work? But there's no point me sitting worrying about it, because it's obviously not just Boris Johnson. That's the government's decision that I have nothing to do with. So for the time being, I've accepted that. I've accepted I don't know when I'm going to go back to work, but whenever it is, great, can't wait for it. But in the meantime, I'm going to do this, this and this, just to keep my mind busy, just to keep me a little bit sane. And obviously that's some things I'm going to share with you in a minute. Things that we can control are like social distancing, so you can control the distance between you and somebody else. If you're worried about catching it with someone in Tesco's, stay away from them, because that's something you can control. You can wear a mask, you can keep washing your hands and stay at home. If, say, like you've got, like say you can't go out to the shops because you're vulnerable, find someone that can sort it for you. Even if you haven't got any family, I'm sure a friend will do it, or a family friend. Like, just let somebody know that I can't go and get shopping. Would I be able to, you know, get some help? People will always want to help you because we're in this together. I think that's something that's so important to remember, that we really are all in this together. Like Zac Efron wasn't lying when he said we're all in this together. This whole thing is just bringing us all together because we're helping each other, we're supporting each other, we're just being there for one another, and it's just so important. Or if you're worried about, say, your nan or your granddad, they can't go to the shops and get food, go and do it for them, or get some help, like get some help to do it for them. So worry about them and focus your time and energy into things you can control, because focusing your time and energy into things that you can't control, like when you can go back to work, when, I don't know, Topshop will open again, because it doesn't matter, by the way, what you're worried about, because nothing's silly. If it matters to you, it matters to you. Unfortunately, like I said, we can't control stuff like that, so there is just no point putting your time and energy into it. And I know that's easier said than done, but whenever you go to worry about something, or whenever you are in the moment worrying about something, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If you can control it, great, do something about it. Write down what you can do, or speak to someone and say, what can I do? Like, if you can't really see very clearly, ask someone else. Get another ear, get another opinion, get another mind. Just ask someone, because they might be able to say, oh, you can do this, or I can help you. So if it's something that you can control, obviously do something about it. If it's something you can't control, you're sitting there and thinking, oh, I'm really worried, but there's just nothing I can do, accept it. Literally just accept it. Say to yourself out loud, or on a bit of paper, or just in your head, there is nothing I can do about this situation. I'm just going to focus on the things that I can control for now, and the rest of it will fall into place. Because trust me when I say, things will always work out in the end. Like, no matter how rocky the road is, so to speak, the end, there will always be a good end. And just have that in your mind. And I did do a video on like depression and stuff, so if you're finding that you're really depressed, or that you're having really negative dark thoughts, go and watch that video, because there's more tips on that there. Obviously this video is more about like the pandemic. That's why I've done these videos, and I put them into a little playlist of Mental Health Mondays, so you can always go back to them. You can dip in and out of them when you feel a little bit low, or you need a little bit of advice. Just think of me as like the big sister. A girl messaged me the other day and she was like, you're like the big sister. That's cool. I actually really like that title. So think of me as the big sister. I can help you guys. We can talk it through. You can come to me for any advice that you need. Just, you know, message me. That's what I'm here for. So you're not alone. You've got me. Even if you're sitting there right now watching this video thinking, I have nothing, I have no one, you're wrong, because you got me. Focus your energy on the things that you can control. The rest of it, just breathe it in. Let it go, like physically, breathe it in, let it all go, and just imagine all the negativity, all the scary things, all the scary thoughts, like all the things you can't control. Just let it go. Just be at peace with the fact that, you know, there's nothing you can do, but there's things that you can control. So just focus your energy onto them. I'm gonna now just go through some other people's tips that I've asked on Instagram. I basically just said to you guys, what is your advice? What are things you're doing just to keep yourself, kind of keep spirits up during all of this? So I've got loads and loads from you guys. So I'm going to read a few of them out, and just hopefully they can really help you. You might find that there's something in here that you're like, oh, I could try doing that, just to make me feel a bit better. So the first one is literally me to a T. It literally just is getting some fresh air and having a cuppa. And I love that. Literally, I've been going for so many walks. If you watch my normal vlogs, you'll see I'm going on so many walks. Like, all I'm doing is walking at the moment, because the fresh air just makes you feel so much better. Like, sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm like, I really can't bother to go for a walk, but I force myself, or Charlie forced me. He's like, Chia, we're going for a walk, and I do the same to him when he's struggling, and we always feel so much better. It just clears your mind. You can listen to some music, you can just enjoy seeing like the park or wherever you are, just get some fresh air. And of course the second part of this little tip was to have a cup of tea. If you don't like cups of tea, I feel sorry for you, I have to admit, but I'm sure you can get yourself a milkshake, a hot chocolate, whatever your favourite drink is, fizzy drink, hot drink, cold drink, whatever it is, even water. But if you're like me and you drink thousands of cups of tea every day, PG Tips, I'd love for you to sponsor me, like literally goals. I even have that on my vision board, is PG Tips, because I would love to work with PG Tips because I love PG Tips. It's the best tea, do not argue with me, it is. But yeah, anyway, so fresh air and a good cuppa, it just makes you feel kind of at ease. Like, I'll go for a walk, I'll get in, first thing I'll do is obviously wash your hands, and then I put the kettle on and just breathe. Some more suggestions are meditation and working out, amazing, I love meditation. Pampering from head to toe, I love that suggestion, like that is me, I do it every single week. Just do what you need to do, like have 10 face masks a week if you want, just do it. Colouring in, going for a walk, tidying, switching off from social media and the news for a bit, amazing idea, and I will get into that. Long walks, yes, helping others in their hard times. This is one that I absolutely love. Like, in the first lockdown, I don't know if any of you guys remember, you might do, I don't know, I did something called dream sheets, where every week I did some like online sheets people could fill in, just helping with like anxiety and worrying and stuff, because I felt strong at that time. And if you're feeling quite mentally strong, help somebody else. Give that little bit of strength to somebody else who might really need it. So that is an amazing one, I love that. Online shopping and makeup drawer tidying, love that one. Love a bit of online shopping, I'm very partial to it myself. And clearing out makeup's always a good thing. You clear out your handbag, that's another good idea that I actually need to do. Going for walks daily, going for long walks with my boyfriend, exercise and mindfulness, I love that. Not putting pressure on myself, i.e. not having a clean house every day because I've got the time. Literally, if your house is a little bit messy, don't sit there and feel down about it, hon, you've got the time. But that is so true, I love that one. There's no point putting pressure on yourself, because why? You're already going through enough. Like, if you don't fancy getting up and cleaning that day, do it tomorrow, do it the next day. Don't put the pressure on yourself because you don't need it. Little hobbies like making TikToks, we love a TikTok, I'll leave mine down below, you can go check it out. Reading books, playing games, ball games. Oh, I like this one, hanging out with my cats, is literally what I'm doing right now. I've got my camera set up, otherwise I'd show you, but I've got Egg and Maisie asleep next to me. I just love them. Reading, meditation and exercise, having some alone time, doing simple stuff that makes me happy. Love that, that's literally what I do. I just do my little things, having a cream egg and a cup of tea and just sitting by myself in my own company. Cleaning, watching my favourite Halloween horror movies, love a fellow horror queen. Writing down, doodling, play with makeup, that's a good one, experimenting with makeup. Don't sit and think, I'm not going anywhere, what's the point? Just do it, have fun, it passes the time. Listen to music, that is another one that I do. Sometimes I will go for like short drives and just blast out all my favourite songs and just have a party with myself. Like yesterday I was driving and I was listening to, what was I listening to? Something like really heavy basically. And I was like, obviously it's like screamo music what I listened to, and I was like I was going along with it. And this man stopped at a traffic light, so I was going this way, he was going that way, and we stopped like that. And I was just like in my own world, like yeah. And then he looked at me and I was just like, normally I would care, but I really don't care today because we're going through enough at the moment. If I want to do that in my car, I'm going to have a little sing-song, a little show in my car. Not talking about COVID, not watching the news, I'm going to talk about that more. Online shopping, treat yourself. Going for walks, allow my body to have rest days, writing all my thoughts and focus on one good thing that happened that day. I love that. That is literally such a good one. Just at the end of the day, tell yourself one good thing that happened or write it down, then look, you can look back over a few weeks or whatever. Even if it's just something small, like the tea that I made that day was really nice, or I had a really nice dinner, or that program that I watched was really good. Just write something. Like, it just makes you feel so much more in control because you're I can't explain it, but just try it. Just write down something good that's happened each day, no matter how big or small it is. Just write it down, because when you look back, you'll think, oh, actually, quite a few good things happened. Oh, I love this one. Making nice food, chocolate coated strawberries. Oh my god, I love chocolate coated strawberries. If you guys go to Tesco, go to the chocolate section. Don't get like the branded chocolate, get the Tesco's own chocolate. I think the milk is a blue bar, like a dark blue bar. What I do is I put a pan of boiling hot water, and then I put a bowl over it with the chocolate in like that and melt it like that. Then cover the strawberries. I love that one. Film marathons, making nice dinners. We love some food. We love a good film. We love a good series binge. There's just loads like that are really similar, and hopefully you found something in there that you're like, oh, I'm going to try that. You could try out new recipes, literally anything you want, just do it. If it makes you happy, who cares what anybody else thinks? Just do it, because if it makes you feel good, that is the most important thing. I'm just going to quickly touch upon the whole news and media situation and like social media. And like I'm talking for myself as well, I do not ever watch the news. If the news comes on, or if it's on the radio, or if I see something on my phone, I click off of it, I turn it off, I switch to another channel or whatever. I just do not want to hear it, because, and the people might say that's ignorant, or, you know, you need to listen, it's important. Why do I need to listen to the news? Like, just for them to tell me that more people are dying, or that this bad thing's happened. They never tell you good things, and I know that these things are happening in the world. I already know that. I'm living in a pandemic. I'm aware of it, hun. So why do we have to constantly listen to it? Like, if you want to keep up to date with numbers and statistics and everything, that's your choice. But personally, that makes me feel so down and miserable and negative, and then I won't want to do anything. I want to just sit there feeling sorry for myself and worrying about other people and worrying about what's going to happen in the future. So if you're like me and that really affects you, stay away from it. I've even had to tell people sometimes, if someone says like, oh my god, did you see that this many people died yesterday? So yeah, I like to stay away from it. I just don't really like to talk about it. Just say to someone politely, look, I don't really want to hear it, to be honest with you. I already know that it's happening. It just makes me feel a little bit down. And you have every right to do that. I think a lot of people see it as you need to know what's going on. You need to know how many people are dying. As long as you're looking after yourself and people around you, so you're wearing your masks, you're not going to like raves, illegal raves, you're not doing anything wrong, you're keeping healthy, you're washing your hands, you're keeping socially distanced. What is the need? You already know that it's happening. As long as you're keeping yourself and people around you healthy, that is all that matters. And like I said, if someone really wants to talk to you about how many people died yesterday, and it's going to make you feel down and worried and just not feel good, just politely say, do you mind if we just talk about something else? Or just say, yeah, I know, and then change the subject. Like, to me, and this may be really like ignorant of me or whatever, I don't really care, but to me, I just don't see the point in watching the news. If you want to do it and that's your choice, go for it. If you want to watch the news, sure. But even like when This Morning's on, and I love This Morning, and then they go on to talk about coronavirus, I switch the channel over, because it just makes me feel like crap, like real crap. And I've kind of learned, and I really do, you know, advise you to do this if you feel like it would help you as well, and if you're in a similar mindset to me, put yourself in a bubble. Like, I'm literally in my own little bubble. I go about my day, I wake up, I have my breakfast and a cup of tea. I do have lie-ins now. Like, normally I'd wake up about 7 o'clock, but I let myself sleep until 9:30 pretty much every day at the moment, because why not? And that is a lie-in for me. I get up, I make myself a cup of tea and have breakfast. I come into the lounge, or I sit in my room and watch YouTube, or like watch TV, whatever. I sit on my phone for a bit, then I'll go and have a shower and start the day. I think routine is really, really important. So try and give yourself a routine, even if it's literally wake up, have a cup of tea, have breakfast, watch TV, watch films. That's a routine. Just do something that's like you're telling yourself, right, I'm going to do this, 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 because it just makes you feel a little bit more in control. So back to what I was saying about the whole bubble situation. Put yourself in a mental bubble away from the news, so the news can't get in, the negative media can't get in. If social media is something that you're struggling to look at, don't look at it, turn it off, delete the app, whatever you need to do. You don't need to go on it, just you know, if it's bothering you, don't do it. If it's bringing a positive influence to you and a positive just vibe, keep it. Like, just keep it. Like, I only have people on my social media who are positive. As soon as I see something negative or something I don't agree with, I unfollow them. I've got to be honest, I will just unfollow them, because it's your social media and you can follow who you want to follow. Follow the people that make you feel good about yourself, who you can relate to, who bring you up, who bring your spirits up. Follow those people. Don't follow the people who are like, oh my god, this many people's dying. Like, just, if it bothers you, stay away from it, because trust me, that is what I do. And I also unfollow people who are constantly like, the coronavirus isn't real, like, look at this. I don't like conspiracy theories. Like, I'm just not really into it. I haven't got time for it. I don't want to put my energy into it, because for me it's so pointless. Because even if it was fake, obviously it's not fake, but even if it was, knowing that it's not gonna sort of change the situation. So what's the point? Like, just focus on things that you can control and things in your own life. I always unfollow people who are constantly putting conspiracy theories to coronavirus. I'm just like, I can't bother with it. It is a real thing. Like, it's a real thing. I don't care what people say, it's real. I think the media have made it a lot worse, especially for mental health. But I'm not going to go into that, because I'm not going to talk politics on my channel. That is something that I never do, and I swear to myself I'll never get into that sort of thing on here. Like, normally I really do not talk about the coronavirus on my channel, but for this video obviously it's needed, because this is mental health in the pandemic. So yeah, just put yourself into a mental bubble. Only let positive things in. I think you should do this not just during this time, but in normal day-to-day life anyway. Negative stuff can't get into your bubble. Sorry, you don't have the password. If you're positive, sure, come in. Like, think of it like that. So negative and toxic things stay away from your bubble. They can't get in. They can get close to it, but they can't come in. Only let the positivity and the things that really make you feel good in. And I'll probably have people disagreeing with my mindset and outlook on that, but I don't care, because it makes me happy. You know, I'm still doing things like social distancing. I just don't want the news around me. I just want you guys to know that it is okay to feel how you're feeling. Whatever your way of dealing with it is to make yourself feel sane or normal or okay, do it. Like, I don't judge you, just do it. If you want to watch films all day, oh my god, watch films all day. There was actually a thing on here someone said, let me find it. Oh, okay, I love this. I put this on my story the other day. Sometimes just staying in bed all day and watching Netflix. Now, do not feel guilty if that's all you've done during this lockdown. So, like, I applaud you. Sometimes I wish I would just spend all day watching Netflix, but I just can't. My mind just starts wandering, so I just physically can't. And I'll have to force myself to literally sit down, watch films all day. But like I said, if that's all you've done, don't think, oh my god, I've done nothing apart from watch Netflix. You've done something. You've watched Netflix all day. You've learned something from a TV program, from a film. You've enjoyed a film's made you happy. Like, if you just want to sit in bed and binge like series all day, just do it. I have so many recommendations that I want to give you guys. The first one being Sabrina. If you haven't watched Sabrina on Netflix, go and binge it. If you've never watched it, obviously start from series 1. I think there's 4 series. So knock yourself out, go and enjoy it, go and binge the whole of Sabrina. Do not feel guilty for laying in bed all day watching Netflix. If it makes you happy and it makes you feel a little less sort of upset and painful, do it. Oh my god, do it. If you enjoy it, just do it. I could talk on and on and on about stuff like that, but yeah, you guys get the gist. Just do what makes you happy at the moment. And a really, really important thing to do is to not compare yourself to what you see on social media, or don't compare yourself to other people's lives. Like, if somebody's getting up, working out every day, cleaning every day, good for them. But if you don't feel like doing that, I definitely do not feel like doing that. Like, I've not done one workout in over a year, so don't feel bad about it. Like, literally don't. If you want to stay in bed watching Netflix all day, you do that, because that makes you happy. And also remember, what you see on social media is not real. Obviously there is a lot of reality on it. Like, I put my real life on it, but then I still don't show times when I'm sitting there crying my eyes out, and you guys don't see that. So remember that every like Instagram profile, a Twitter profile, or YouTube channel, there's always a behind the scenes that you don't see. So don't sit and think, oh my god, how was she not upset? Like, I was crying so much the other day. What did I cry at the other day? I cried at something really random. I can't remember what it was. Oh, that was it. Me and Charlie were in the park, and this boy like kicked his football, and Charlie kicked it back to him because like the football went onto the path, and Charlie like booted it back to him, and I cried my eyes out at that. And Charlie was like, Chia, why are you crying? That's so weird. And I was like, it's just such a beautiful moment. Like, you kicked the ball back to him, and it's so stupid, but I'm just an emotional wreck sometimes. I think we all are, and that's okay. I don't feel bad about it. Like, I didn't then start crying on my Instagram because you guys don't see what's behind the scenes. So don't compare yourself to these people who look like they're living the best lives in Dubai, in the Maldives. Like, that's great. Enjoy your time, hun, but you know, there's things that go on behind that. It's not all as it seems, and people only put up what they want others to see. Always remember that. A really big tip of mine, if you aren't working at the moment and you're literally just at home, is make the weekends separate to the weekdays. So for me, I'm doing loads Monday to Friday, then Saturday and Sunday I'm literally just chilling out, watching films. I'll go for a walk if I fancy. Just try and separate the weekend from the weekdays. Even if in the weekdays the only thing you're doing is like say you could just go for a walk Monday to Friday, then Saturday, Sunday you're not going for a walk. Try and separate it as much as you can. Or like Monday to Friday, you, I don't know, do a little mini workout each day, do a little bit of cleaning each day, you do something, and then at the weekends you do something different. So, and even like eating non-takeaways Monday to Friday and having takeaways Saturday, Sunday, just do like the tiniest things just to make the weekends separate to the weekdays. And I find that's a little bit of a thing that I'm doing at the moment, just to kind of keep myself into some sort of routine, because otherwise every day I find just like blurs together and just molds into one. I find it really hard to deal with things that way. Like, maybe have a plan for your Monday to Fridays and then don't have a plan for the weekends. So I don't know, just I find that really helps me just to keep focus and to keep a little bit sane. I'm gonna finish this video off now because it's probably very long, as all of my mental health Mondays are. But I hope so much that there's something in this video that's helped you, even a tiny bit. I really hope that there's something that's brought a little bit of light to you. Even sometimes just knowing that other people are going through it too, it's just comforting in a way. Like, don't get me wrong, like, you guys always say to me, how are you so positive? I am a very positive person, but I have my days where I sit and I cry the whole day. Like, it's Wednesday today, and Monday this week that's just gone, I was crying all day. So don't worry, like, we're all really struggling, but we can struggle together. And sometimes when you're feeling a little bit strong, give that to somebody who is struggling. So give you a little bit of your strength to them, and then when they're strong one day and you're feeling really down, they can do the same for you. And just stick together. FaceTime your friends, go on Zoom calls, talk to your friends. Try not to shut yourself away. Even if you think, oh, I just can't bother to FaceTime them, just breathe it in, suck it up, and just press call and just ring someone, talk to someone, because it makes you feel a little bit more human, having human interaction. Even if it's not face to face, just over the phone, it's just sometimes really comforting to know and to remember and to remind yourself that you're not alone. With the money situation, if you're worried about money at the moment, remember that we're in this together and we're in a global pandemic. So, you know, it's kind of inevitable that we are going to be struggling for money, and we might be struggling for years, months, weeks, a couple days. No one knows, but always remember this. And I cannot remember who taught me this, but it's stuck in my mind ever since, and it's one of my biggest like mantras. I spoke about mantras in my first Mental Health Mondays episode, which was anxiety. But money comes and goes. It will come one day, it will go the next, and it will come again. It literally is just like a cycle. So try not to focus on money. I know it is so hard, like, believe me, I sit and cry about it a lot. Whatever happens, things will always work out. I really need to drill that into your heads. Like, no matter what money struggles you're having at the moment, no matter how bad and scary it seems, just give yourself that little bit of hope and remind yourself we're in a global pandemic. Like, of course we're going to be struggling for money. and everyone is. So many people are. So just remember that, and remember that it will be okay. Like I said, money comes and goes, and whenever you're worried about money, just say that to yourself, because trust me, I do it 50 times a week probably. And I say it to Charlie if he's worried. I say, Charlie, like, money comes and goes. You'll have money worries sometimes, you'll have no money worries sometimes, great, but just remind yourself that money isn't everything. Yes, money is very important in life. I'm not going to sit and say it's not, because it does kind of make the world go round, but it's not the be all and end all. Please remind yourself of that, and everything will be okay. I'm looking direct into the camera right now because I'm looking at you. Everything will be okay. It really will. Just please do not ever give up hope or give up anything. Just please remember that it will all be okay. Things will always work out for the best, and everything happens for a reason. As always, I will leave every resource that I can find for helplines down in the description box below. See, I have my other 3 episodes that I did for Mental Health Mondays, and I'm still going to be doing them for a few weeks. I'm not going anywhere, don't you worry. I'm now doing 3 uploads a week on my YouTube. Obviously Mondays is just Mental Health Mondays, but if you're bored and you want to watch me on YouTube, come join, because we do get up to some fun things. I just hope so much that you guys are okay, and it breaks my heart a little knowing that so many people are struggling right now, but please remind yourself that you are not alone. I'm telling you, you're not alone. Like, sometimes I can be in a room full of thousands of people, not that I'm ever in a room of thousands of people, but you know what I mean. You're in a room with so many people and you still feel so alone. But you're not. You're really not. I'm sending strength and love to so many people right now. I'm sending it to you, I'm sending it to your family, your friends, everyone. Just please remember that things will be okay, and we are all in this together. Once you've watched this video, go and put a nice film on, go and put a series on. My film recommendation is always Daddy's Home 2. It's the best feel-good film ever. I love it. Or Instant Family on Netflix is really good as well. Sorry if you can hear my washing machine. I've just realised it's really loud. So yeah, go and watch your favourite film, go and watch a TV series, listen to some music, go for a walk, make yourself a cup of tea. That's definitely what I'm going to do, because I'm gasping for a cup of tea. And I will see you guys in next week's episode, which is going to be all about health anxiety, which there were a few things that I wanted to talk about in this video, but they're more related to the health anxiety topic. So if you're worried about health, stay tuned for next week, because that's what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to hug the camera so I can give you guys a big hug. There's a big hug from me to you. I love you all so much. Stay strong, stay happy. I'm sending you so much love and support and strength and everything, all the good vibes, sending them your way. You've probably had enough of me right now, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have my cup of tea. But like I said, I love you all so much, and I will see you next Monday for episode 5 of Mental Health Mondays, or Wednesday if you're here for my normal YouTube videos. Bye, pumpkins.